You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain, Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hello.
It's Niall.
Hello, chums.
And it's me, Brian, a man who is jealous of a banana, but more on that later.
Aren't we all?
I know. I was like, this is what it's come to. I'm jealous of a fictional banana. Anyway, this episode we'll be covering all that and more because we're talking about the anime that aired between the 4th of May and the 10th of May, 2020. With the solitary exception of, I'll get it out of the way first this time, the thing which isn't anime, Kamen Rider 01, episode 35, What Do Humagears Dream Of? This was the episode where Hirobi got to beat up Gayamatsu. It was this one.
Hooray.
So
Everyone gets a shot.
Everyone does get a shot, which makes it a good cut-off point for 2 weeks of recap episodes. So the situation we have here is, previously, Hirobi had destroyed Midori, the farm Humagear. Farmer Humagear. She's not a farm, she's a farmer. And was trying to get back the memory of the 4th member of his little terrorist team. And Aruto managed to grab it back when right at the end Jin came and nicked it from him. And so we get a bit of dialogue here, and Aruto's like, I thought you wanted to make a world where Humagears and humans can live together. I thought that was your dream. But Jin's like, yes, but I need all of the team back to help me realise that dream. So yeah, he's still not on the same page as Hirobi. He's clearly like, oh, I can once I get everybody off the addiction to the arc telling them what to do, then we can move ahead with a much better plan than destroy all humans. Meanwhile, humans are trying to destroy all humans because they've been taken over by the glasses, which have been hacked, it turns out, by Naki. And so Fuwa has to remind Naki that you've got a dream, don't you? You shouldn't be doing what the arc's telling you. You've got a dream. Follow your dream. Don't listen to a sunken satellite. And so Naki, they shake themselves out of obeying the arc, and the situation has calmed down across Japan. People are no longer trying to destroy all humans, even though they're humans themselves. Hirobi is... Oh yeah, so during the fight with Jin and Aruto, though, Aruto goes to hit Jin, and Hirobi leaps in the way of the blade, which causes Aruto to pause, because he's like, there is something in Hirobi. He does remind me of my dad. And and meanwhile, Hirobi's like, why did I leap in the way there? What caused me to do this? So this will be the theme of the episode, is Hirobi realising that I don't have to do what the arc tells me. I've got other feelings within me. I should follow those feelings.
I'm an individual. You're all individuals.
Yes. Individuals who kind of... Their singularity seems to often be based on what they were originally designed for, though. But there is the question of that. The best bit of the episode is... so Fuwa wakes up in hospital because Yaiba's taking him to hospital to recover from getting Naki out of his head. And Naki's there as well. And they're like, well, I did it so you could talk to Naki face to face, and Naki can tell you what your past is. And then it cuts away to another scene. And then when it cuts back, Yaiba's got a shocked look on her face, as if... What terrible... So we don't hear the recap of his life. She's got a shocked look. So you're like, oh, is he like Aruto's brother or something? Is there some sort of... No, it turns out she's got a shocked look on her face because his life is incredibly plain and boring and has nothing of interest in it.
Oh, no.
That's very unusual in these shows, yeah.
It is. It was a good thing. It was a good twist in that his hidden memory was that was nothing of importance. The only thing notable about him is his sense of humour and his love of Aruto's terrible jokes. So Naki then tells him one of Aruto's jokes, which finally he laughs in front of people, and people are like, okay, you're not the plain, hard-driven cop that you pretend to be. You're there is something weird about you. You like terrible, terrible puns. Also, I think this is the first scene where Yaiba's not been wearing business dress, and she's kind of got almost like a 70s costume, her bell bottoms back. I don't follow women's fashion, but it was like it was like a nice throwback, so she would look like a female lead from a 70s tokusatsu almost. Yeah. Meanwhile, Guy and Nairobi have met in a forest, and they found all the stuntmen they can lay their hands on in Japan, and they have a massive fight.
Nice.
Between their two armies, which I suspect is possibly only 5 people on each side, and some clever photography to make it look like there's some more.
Some copy pasting in post.
Yeah. And yeah, Hirobi gets his ass kicked because he's had no powers up for most of the series. I think he stole a weapon early on, and that's his only power up he's ever had. And so then Arete rolls up and saves Hirobi. And this is the thing which, like, Hirobi suddenly realizes, a human's willing to save me. And then Naruto speaks to him. And then Naki has showed up as well, and Naki takes control of all of the raid suits that are fighting on Guy's side. And so now everything's against Guy. And he gets his ass kicked for, I think, the 5th time now.
He's coming back for more, though.
He will be coming back for more. And then it ends with, the farmer, Humagears being repaired, and she's back there, and then everybody at the farm tells one of Naruto's jokes at him, and he doesn't like that so much. And then we see back at the terrorist Humagears base, they've resurrected the 4th member, the space brother from the earlier episode, and I suspect this is going to backfire because he immediately says something about the will of the Ark. Also, he's dressed like the leader of a biker gang and does that stereotypical hooligan neck roll. It's like, oh dear, they made a terrible
bad boy now.
He's the bad boy, yes. And the other 3 are now good boys. So yeah, I'm gonna guess they're gonna have some sort of clash, but won't find out for at least 3 weeks because the next 2 episodes are recap episodes. Though apparently there'll be some sort of mystery that only you, the viewer, can solve by watching the first one. But we shall see. On to the cartoons. Super Shiro, episode 30, the Doberman's Favourite. And this time round, the Boba Bone is actually bone-shaped. It's the Doberman's favourite hugging pillow.
It's bone shaped, but it's like way too big and not like bonular in any other regard.
It's sausage like. It's really
that's probably a closer thing to.
Maybe it's seen better days. It obviously has a great deal of affection for this fellow.
I assume it's leather, and at best, the best case scenario is it stinks of sweat.
Well, we do know that while it has a wild and elegant aroma, there is also another aroma on it. But Shiro's pretty sure it is the bow. But yeah, immediately Dekapu gets his hands on it, declares himself world president, and then the Doberman shows up and takes it back off him.
So yeah, Shiro's thing is like, I can't really rob it off him. That's not very hero-like. And Dekapu has an ingenious plan to dress as a woman and run into his kennel yelling, "Fire, fire!"
This is after that Shiro's fleas were unable to get it off him because the Doberman's
That's right.
Fleas
It was a fleas versus fleas.
Muscular fleas.
Yes.
Huge buff hench fleas that drive away. What was this? This is a job for my persistent and itchy friends.
Well, it's good that they get on, but they're not up to the muscular task.
As you say, yes, Dekapu dresses up as a woman, and the Doberman's immediately infatuated with him, and constantly gives him flowers.
Yeah, well, it gets kind of scooped up into the big Doberman's arms, and they go back into the shadows to the back of the doghouse. You think, oh gosh, well,
I was
Super
worried
Shiro's
it was
going
going
to
to
get
be
out
a
of
Pepe
there.
Le Pew type situation, but no, he's just showering affection the only way he knows how, bunches of flowers,
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Not
That's
too...
pretty much
funny.
it.
It's
Yeah.
funny, like it looked quite well. I don't know.
Yes.
There's something about it. I think it was just like really zippy this time. Whoever was working at it or whoever was boarding it
Well,
or
I
like that,
did
but
see
pretty
some
good.
comments that somebody was back with Science Saru on this who had a falling out previously.
Okay. Well, I'm
Uh,
glad they made up.
I think it might be... Yeah, Michio Mihara, didn't they do the dog short on one of the Genius parties?
Oh, okay.
I know him from other things as well, but yeah, but yeah, I was doing storyboards, I believe, on a couple of the episodes.
All right. Welcome back, buddy.
The character design for Cyber City Uedo 808, episode 2, animation director on episode 2. What else do we know from?
Some man for one man.
Berserk: The Golden Age, part 3, storyboard artist on that. Was he doing that really good recent Shin-chan one? Yes, yeah, he was on the one where they go into the dreamland.
Okay, which one? Well, something or other is striking back anyway.
Yes.
You said that what those films are called.
Yeah, the one where they go into the dreamland, which I think is the best of the recent ones, at least of the ones we've watched for the podcast. Because that's the one which brings back like the very wiggly lines on the drawings.
School vision.
Pretty much everything on episode 4 of Kaiba.
Okay.
Character design on Kick Heart. And animation director on Kick Heart.
Okay, we get it. The guy's a national treasure.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to the plot in this Super Shiro, but everything's pretty bouncy. There's some really great faces. Like Deku, several times, most of his lines are just the what's his catchphrase? That thing that he says.
The day is the day I'm going to get the.
No. He makes a noise. It's like a noise that's like a variant on his name, and he just keeps mugging to the camera and saying that.
That's just his laugh. He goes, Gepu, 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 Gepu.
Gepu, Gepu. That was it. I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, he kind of says that to the camera a bunch, and it's just the faces, the reactions are really good. But yeah, that's most of the appeal for it, I think.
Actually,
like, really good looking.
Just doing that laugh out loud myself, it's like halfway towards a Popeye. Gepu, 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 Gepu.
Oh yeah, and yeah, he's not unfamiliar with the word baby because he was also episode 6 of Space Dandy, The War of the Undies and Vests, baby. Maybe I'm mixing him up with somebody else on the Genius Party thing. I can't remember. I can't find it on here.
They're also geniuses.
Yes. Next up, moving on, we shall go on to Extra Olympia Kyklos, episode 3, A Man's Arete. Arete? I can never remember.
Arete as bounced in the ending song. The again glorious ending song.
It's a long time I did Latin, so
yeah. Well, I mean, they're not 100% on how it's pronounced anyway. So
actually, I never. It's Greek anyway, isn't it? So it's not an issue.
Yes,
Greek is the reason why.
Say.
Greek is the reason why I didn't do my GCSE Latin. I loved Latin for the first 3 years at secondary school, and I was good at it. But they wanted you to go and do all your GCSE in the 4th year, and then for the 5th year, cram in a Greek GCSE in 1 year. And I was like, no.
That's bizarre. Okay.
It is, yes. I guess they figured, like, we taught you enough Latin, so we only need you to give you another year so you can get your Latin GCSE. And maybe if you're good enough, you can get a bonus GCSE of Greek. But I was like...
If you're any kind of a scholar, you're going to go with that Greek. If you want to know what the exchange rate was between Greece and Rome, you're going to want to have that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm incorrect. Yes, Greek. So there you go. Excellence is what it is. So in this episode, we're back in ancient Greece. And the mayor has got into an argument with a neighbouring mayor, I guess. I believe part of the joke
I think it's
is
another
that
mayor.
there weren't
Because it's
mayors.
like, this is my town, this is your town, but it's not quite the same as.
Yeah, I
we
did see
could-
someone on Twitter pointing out that there were no mayors at this time, but
I think mayor is like the best term. It's like, it's the guy who owns / rules the town. I was like, that's a mayor, right?
yeah.
Eh.
I think that's a gag. I believe like everything else is fairly accurate, and then there's one glaring error.
So does the out dependence like that?
Yes, and yeah, he basically wants to. He's threatening to invade the town if the mayor doesn't marry his daughter off to this guy's son, who hilariously his face gets uglier and uglier every time it cuts.
Yeah, more pig-like and more cartoony as it goes on, which is great. He's saying like I'd prefer to invade, honestly, but the Olympics are on, and they say like, hey, don't do wars during the Olympics. So I was gonna like just do this arranged marriage thing, and it'll work out basically the same. And the mayor won't give his daughter up or his town, not for war, but maybe for money. I mean, like if you give him the right fucking price, you know what I mean?
Apollonia calls out to Demetrius. She's just kind of cowering behind there. I can't be doing that.
He rushes up to hide behind a tree.
Yeah.
I do like the reveal that this is the first time she's ever spoken to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't know what the fuck to say. Too embarrassed.
But I get roped into a wager. Then they're going to have a little competition of athletic skill, and
You name the sport, and I'll beat your man at it.
yeah.
If I win, he has to marry the daughter, and if you win, I'm not sure. I think the mayor has to like get money out of it or
He
something.
gets money somehow anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's in it
That's
for
about
him.
the extent
Like.
of it. Yeah. That's why he wants to get Demetrius involved, because it's like money. And isn't it he kind of thinks like, oh, that's why the gods sent me to that strange land.
Yes, yeah.
Tokyopolis.
Which
It
is
was to learn the lessons.
which is supported when the messenger declares that the event that has been chosen is the egg race.
Yes, this brand new hot sport. Egg and spoon.
So they get their kit off, and away they
Gotta do
go.
it properly.
I was
Can't
really
be-
hoping
can't
for like the censorship where a squirrel passes in front of the leg as they're turned that way or something like that. But I don't mind the shining fucking glory of their
brilliant.
manhood.
They do start hiding it as well later on.
They do later on.
Yes.
That's more fun. Yeah.
Yeah, because he gives him the medal to cover his dishonor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing as well. When the guy sees Demetrius's medal, he's like, "Oh fuck, I'll fight for that medal as
Want
well.
that
That thing's
too."
really cool."
Fucking art and hobby shop foil. Do a full like school rules as well. If you drop your egg, you gotta go back all the way back to the start.
It's about concentration and perseverance and keeping your eye on the egg.
So we
That kind of
always
thing.
had plaster of Paris eggs for our egg race.
It was Spud and Spoon when I was a kid.
Yes.
I don't know if that's particularly Irish. I imagine it's just you don't have to fucking clean up the eggs afterwards. It's less
Yeah, but-
messy.
Don't waste any eggs. Like a sport, if it falls in the ground, you can still use that for later.
Well, yeah, I imagine the plaster of the Paris eggs were a similar idea. Though I do
Yeah,
believe they would
probably.
occasionally, through age, once they dropped, they would then just shatter into pieces of plaster of Paris.
It's a different kind of mess though.
Yes. Yeah, the kids they love the race, and then the mayor wants to have a word with him. And we see his eyes have turned into coins.
So I assume he's going to try and get Demetrius to be like the headliner of this brand new hot sport or
Yeah.
something,
Or get him to actually go to the Olympics like he wanted to in the first episode.
and challenge
Yes.
people to egg and spoon races. Yeah.
So I wonder if the formula is he ends up he runs away from the mayor again, travels back into the future, learns another future sport, comes back and does it.
Yeah.
if not just a future sport, like a future thing that will
Yes.
help him in the problem in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. The stupider, the better.
Yes. And then the end credits are once again fantastic. It's another song where this time I'm trying to think. He looks very similar to the messenger, the bard does. But yes, it's explaining like the things which make up Arete: strength, courage, virtuousness, fame, service, and manliness, which then appear to be some sort of protein-based supplements.
Yeah, they're trying to sell you on this product called Arete,
Yeah.
but
There's always just Saturdays like sad middle-aged men, just like slumped over at
Yes.
a
that
pub or
stock
something.
art is so good, man.
Yes.
Is
Sorry,
this
stock
you?
photos, I should say. Yeah, exactly.
You could use Arete based on an ancient Greek recipe. It will give you the manliness, courage, strength, and fame you so desire in your life.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I don't think we've mentioned yet the opening thing, which is also great, which is the William Tell overture sung.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the animated Grecian urns kind of thing. That is quite nice. It's good
Yes.
fun as well.
It's just a top-notch thing, top to bottom, and it's only like 5 to 6 minutes long.
Yeah, I enjoyed the episode as well, but generally now I'm really looking forward to the ending song because it's just they're always pretty good.
We got I think 2 more before it goes on hiatus.
Savor every drop, like from the opening to the end credits. Just like there's what's packed in there. It's like a little vitamin pill you like just take, and it's just load of everything good and neat to get you through the day. I love it.
Then Woodpecker Detective's Office, episode 4, Strange Stories of the High Tower. In which the animation is less good than the previous 3 episodes, but I did enjoy the story. It was a nice, proper detective story that you could work out from the clues given. And
Mm.
I
think one's basically on like a not so much a pun, but words that sound similar.
Yeah, the final bit is definitely a bit of wordplay that it's kind of can't be translated, but it works. Also, I'd figured out who did it because he didn't give you that many suspects to begin with, and the motive was fairly clear.
It did a thing that I kind of hoped it did as well, where basically not that he got him killed, but he ruined his chances of actually getting paid for this detective job that he'd taken.
Yes.
Which is really funny to me.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. This is a story which involves 2 murders, 1 possible rape as well. Because the initial murder is unclear exactly the details of it because it doesn't come through until later.
I think it's implied even early on that might be the case. Yeah,
it's definitely once you see the culprit in the flashback. But what they're actually investigating is a ghost. The 12-story skyscraper is being haunted by a ghost, and
it shows up like on the regular at certain times of the night, or I'm not sure actually the schedule is it on a full moon or something, but like your man's checking his watch to make sure they arrive to see the ghost.
Yes, and yeah, he runs into an old Ishikawa runs into an old journalist friend who helped him move 3 years ago. I believe that information would tell us which year that's setting, but I didn't go and check the Wikipedia page.
Right.
And he feels something's different about him. Then we learn that he hasn't told him that he stopped being a journalist. He's now working at a bingo hall. But Ishikawa's been hired by the actual culprit, hasn't he?
Yeah. Essentially.
Who is this? He's an entertainer. He's a street entertainer, essentially, and who's glad that the picture houses and the skyscraper are becoming less popular, partly due to this ghost, and that's helping his business. But for some reason, he wants to investigate what the deal is with the ghost. I think partly because people are going to look at the ghost still. I think it's like that's his. But
it is bringing the it's like his thing is like, oh, people are checking out this ghost and it's creeping people out. We got to get rid of it. But as your man points out later, he's like, I was suspicious because that draws the punters to where your fucking place of business is.
Yes.
What's the problem?
Yeah. But essentially, what's happened is that the guy who hired him had raped and murdered the girlfriend of the journalist. And this was witnessed by a 1-legged old man.
That sounds like that's right up mystery fucking stuff.
It is, yes. Because what they thought was him following them was actually him being dragged by the culprit. and basically, yeah, the culprit noticed that the old man was there. The old man is too afraid of the status of the culprit. But
to actually say anything, he
Yes.
did hear the woman's last words, which were throat moon,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
But he respected her enough that when he meets her fiance, is that he passes on clues to him, which then causes him to fake the ghost story to begin with, and then resign from. So he was faking the joke. Then he came. Was he doing that before the murder? I can't remember.
I think that's what caused him to quit. It set him off on this very fucking Count of Monte Cristo complicated way to get your revenge.
Because there's a gap
basically,
between when he stopped, because there was no other newspapers were reporting the ghost while he was reporting it, and then a few weeks after he stopped reporting it, then all the newspapers started reporting it because he was actually.
So it's like he was reporting a fake ghost, and then it's like, okay, this isn't catching on, so I'll actually quit my job in order to full time make this ghost a thing, a viral sensation, and then the papers pick it up. Yeah.
Because he's basically projecting a ghost onto the side of the.
Yeah, it's I forgot what they call that kind of lantern again.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. It's the one they use for the Gorillas Live things, isn't it?
Yeah. It's I can't think of something phantom ghost. Actually, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's a piece of technology from this time, which still works today.
Yeah, it's. I figured I was hoping it was like, oh, is this like a Scooby Doo thing? It's like it's a projection, and it was, and I was glad about that.
Yeah, I mean the thing I liked about this is the bit of the dialogue near the start. I can't remember Ishikawa's mate's name.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
He doesn't really get that much to do in this one, except complain about Ishikawa spending money.
Yeah, see, like the background thing of it is like at the start, he said, "Hey, I thought you were saving up that money for like a set of encyclopedias or something cool, man." And he's like, "No, man, you need the money. It's all right. You can fucking get me back when it suits you." But then he immediately spends it on a big meal for a slap up meal for a friend of his from 3 years ago who helped him move, and he's like, "What the fuck, dude?"
And the reveal of he was going to do all these 3 things for him. He was going to get him, buy him the latest Japanese dictionary.
Yeah.
Send him home to his mother, and then they're going to go and eat a particular monkfish.
Because it'd be good for his health.
Yeah, and then the reveal at the end was like the way he got the money to do this was by borrowing money off all his other friends.
By 3 other people for those 3 things. Yes. Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, when I borrowed the money, I was intending to do those 3 things for you, but then these other things came my way, and I did those instead.
So it's like. Yeah, he was looking out for you, by like also dicking over other people. So it's just like this constant circle of him borrowing money from other people to pay back other people in a nice way. It's weird.
Anyway, the culprit was testing out the old man's loyalty by setting up a meeting with Ishikawa, but also setting up a meeting with the ex-journalist fiance, so Ishikawa would get there, see the fiance run away, and then find the body, making it look like the fiance had murdered the old man. However, when they goes to meet at the tower, expecting to meet the fiance, instead he meets Ishikawa because Ishikawa's got it all figured out. But then the fiance does show up, and the pair of them go tumbling off the neighbouring tower.
He does the reveal in front of your man and a cop, and your man's like, "Oh, you couldn't fucking catch me." And when your man shows up, it's like, "Hey, take off that scarf you've been conspicuously wearing this entire fucking time." And he's like, "What?" Because it was a throat wound, not throat moon. I think.
Yeah, that was it.
I mean, like, it's not a perfect thing, but it works pretty good in English. I mean,
yeah, it works. Works fine. But I think the Japanese word sounded closer.
Yeah, they sound much closer. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then this inspires Ishikawa to write a poem off the top of his head, and then his mate goes, yeah, because he's been doing. Oh, he was trying to learn something on the cello, wasn't he? And it wasn't good.
Yeah, he was trying to learn like it was Bach or some Western
Wagner.
music. But
it was
Wagner. Thank you.
And then
it was too difficult to learn on it. Yeah.
All these other. He was like, names 2 other geniuses, Wagner and somebody else. He goes, they were always in debt as well. So it's fine.
Must mean I'm a real genius.
Yes.
It's like, oh, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, and his buddy comes to the conclusion at the end. It's like, yeah, you're a genius and you're a child. So, and he's like, yeah, I can't really argue with that.
He comes up with a newfound appreciation of his friend, that his friend is still kind of a little dick, which is like, yeah, he is, dude.
Anyway, next week it looks like a bunch of them are in love. But not these two. Look like a bunch of the
other detective agency.
Yes, the other poets pretending to be a detective.
Mm.
Yeah, there's lots of bits in this where he's like comparing like the skills of a poet and the skills of a detective. One of the same, and people like not really going along with the idea. But yeah, the story was enjoyable. The mystery made sense. Yeah, the one bit of dialogue I want to say about is I did like the linguist character talk, because he's like, oh, you don't believe in ghosts and the occult, we're in the modern age. And I was like, yeah, of course, that's what everybody in every age, particularly like this turn of like the turn of technology here with like, oh, you've suddenly got cinema and you've got skyscrapers. It's like, yeah, of course, yeah, it's a nice reminder of like not only that people in the past thought they were in the modern age, but also thought that of just a few years back were backwards, and you got to get with it. We're in the modern age now. Stop believing in ghosts and fortune telling. We got skyscrapers and film. Well, yeah, which was a nice thing. It made everything, give it a bit more reality to it, just having that one line of dialogue. So it feels like something which is happening now, even though it's definitely happening in the past.
Yeah, that's the thing people like always say. I was reading an interview with Werner Herzog there a while back, and he's like, there'll never be another age of people like me. I grew up in my town, there was a town crier, and now it's all fucking technology and shit. And I was like, yeah, but when I get old, there'll be like movies downloaded into your brain. Like now, then we'll be in the modern age, and then after that, we'll also be in the modern age.
And at some point there'll be an old man decrying the fact there was a town crier. It was say, we don't need town criers.
We don't need town criers. I download the news into my brain like everyone else. Yeah. It's always the modern age, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. But that line, yeah, it kind of puts you in the moment of they thought they were in the height of fucking tech at the time. But that's the way every culture thinks, really.
Yeah, but it's also the looking down on the past, because I think that's the thing I hear people like saying, "Oh, you want to do that nowadays," not thinking that surely people in the past also look down on the past. Which is that particular thing I don't see quite so much, and I really appreciate that. That was good stuff. Anyway, tell me all about Fruits Basket Season 2, Episode 5. Wait for me, Tororo Soba.
Summer holidays in Fruit Basket World, anyway. Yay! We can all go outside and fuck around.
Like, it's still technically summer holidays here, but in the opposite way, we have to stay indoors.
Yeah, it sucks. We're pretty excited. Uotani is so excited she could apparently tear a car in half. But they're all getting pretty jazzed. But I was thinking as well, if we're going to be going places, we're going to need to maybe make a bit of dash to finance said trips to the beach or a theme park or something like that. So I want to need to, like, Uotani to crack into her job at the Combini and at the cafe.
Two jobs, which is
at said job as well. At the Combini, she had like a run-in was like I don't know, handsome chap, suspiciously handsome actually. But
I mean, that comes up in the episode as well. But I do like that. It's just like, ooh, I've run in with a handsome stranger, right? But he's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And he reacts
to anybody.
She laughs with him because he reacts in a very like awkward way that Toru did, but
clumsy.
Awkward and clumsy way. Very like a 1-for-1 comparison of bowing while holding a bunch of things, which is like, don't you silly. But and that's a thing that attracts him to her as well. That's one of the two plots going on. And
I just want us to see that through to the finish, because the other one is just
the other one's fairly fluff, but I did enjoy it.
It's kind of silly.
Yeah.
She runs into this same handsome stranger again while she taking a break from her other job at the cafe one afternoon. It's like, hey, it's you, handsome. I didn't think I get to see you. Hey, I'm getting lunch. You want to get lunch? Oh man, I'm fucking starving. And he's just kind of, yes.
Yeah,
Like,
he
I don't-
says
I-
he's kind of surprised that she kind of ran like sweating and heavy breathing like to catch up to him, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh fuck, I'll treat you to lunch then. You can have whatever you want. She's like, cool. I'm gonna have me some Tororo soba, and he's like, you sure you don't want something like more expensive and shit? And he's like, nah, I'm on a real fucking soba kick lately.
Yeah, I suppose so. Sort of get to chat, and then in the shop, it was just in the restaurant, it's just like, hey, so what's he doing? Oh, I'm mostly just been, I can't be working a lot, and this is like one of the rare times, very rare times I actually have a day off, and I just don't really know what to do today, so I go out for a walk and just kind of going around aimlessly. And it's like, oh yeah, it's just kind of very intrigued by that, and it feels even more just like, she feels even more kind of taken by that. Goes, oh, like, I happened to run into him on like one of his rare days off. Maybe just like a little bit of a connection forming here. I don't know. Yeah, but this but like I just what but it was just like this little thing. I didn't really expect to do anything. I'm really kind of like into my work, and that kind of takes up a lot of my time. So I'm very devoted to it. So I don't really kind of pay much heed to what I do in my own time. It just seems kind of unnecessary, just doing unnecessary things, and that pisses her right off.
Yeah, it was some way he worded it like where, like he said, it was my first time in a convenience store, which is initially like, how the fuck have you gone through your life, and how old are you? And he's way too old.
Yeah.
That's weirded me out. But and how have you not gone to a convenience store? And he's like, oh, I don't tend to do like inconsequential things. And the fact that she put like stock in this meeting, and he was calling it, and just a throwaway fucking, it's a random ass stupid thing I did. Really kind of pisses her off, and she storms out of there.
Yeah.
Just after to kind of apologize, and it's like, it's just I worded that completely wrong. Didn't mean to cause offense, that kind of thing. Didn't mean to say that it didn't mean something.
Yeah, he just doesn't know what to do. But, and then like she was almost noticing then that this guy is something a bit, he's nice, but he's something a bit off about him. Just the way he smiles, it doesn't seem like it's really kind of genuine. He feels very kind of lonely and isolated. So he's just kind of smiling just to kind of put up appearances. But he smiles for real, and then says, okay, well this guy's maybe he's genuine. He's genuinely sorry he did that. He just kind of fucked him. So he's pretty a nice dude. Okay, so it seems kind of nice. Let me see what his job is later on at the end, and seems to be Akito Soma, master of the household, seems to be personal attendant or current favorite or something to that effect.
Paramour maybe of some kind. Yeah. It's not good stuff. So he's heavily involved with the most messed up character, I guess.
Yeah,
that's not great.
Which kind of spells a little bit of danger, because was this meeting entirely coincidental?
Yeah, that's the other thing, of course.
Yeah. The other a bit of it is just because it's going to get out of the heat, so they're going to go somewhere nice. Momiji brings into somewhere best place to go if you want to get out of the heat, a haunted house.
So they go to the haunted house. There's a bunch of animatronic things, and like I did like the joke of the two lads are like, "Are you serious? How about we ask everyone here if they want to go? Toru, do you want to go into the haunted house?" And she's like, "I gotta do this. I really don't want to. I gotta prove it to myself that I can." So she just like freaks herself out. She decides to try and go through it like with her eyes closed, but she's a fucking klutz, so she just slams into every goddamn wall available.
Yeah.
They have the opportunity to hold her hand through it, but they kind of fuck it up by arguing amongst themselves over who gets to hold her hand. So
Momiji swoops in.
Oh, stylish, yeah. He gets in, and how our cowboy gets through it.
Howard was there.
Yeah, he gets through it by attaching tragic backstories to all the random fucking monsters in it, and I love that it's getting the sequence of a corpse, like a dude with an arrow through his bald head. Just screaming. He's just like, an animatronic dude who just screams, and it's like, oh, this guy, he had to, his mother left him at a young age, but he's actually quite sweet, and he's actually the guy you want to marry in town, but he cries too easily and this kind of thing. And it's like he really wants to meet his mother again one day, and we see this extended backstory of this fucking animatronic ghost as a bald child with an arrow through his head.
Yeah, and then an animatronic of that lady, this kind of with the long snaky neck.
Lady. I can't
That's who she is right now. He just snaps the head off of that animatronic. They're together again at last. Mother and child reunited.
So the manager of the place fucking calls in these kids, and I did like his reaction. It was like, why the fuck are all these kids gorgeous? Are they models or something? What's going on here? It's weird. But he's like, hey, I'm gonna call your parents. You're gonna be fucking paying for that shit. And the Momiji and Tororo are both like, oh, but you gotta keep them together though. They deserve to be together. He's like, what are you talking about? And they tell him the story, to which he fucking tears up. It's like, I've never heard such a beautiful story. And they were like, okay, I guess they get off scot-free.
That goddamn Soma defense. Damn their handsomeness.
Like like inconsequential as fuck, but as B plots go, pretty fun.
Yeah, that's gotta be meat for me. But that's kind of fun. Meat for me was just seeing Uotani. He's a favourite character of mine, of course. And,
sure. Yeah.
You know, I had to see her just get on this, even though
this guy's way too old, man.
Yeah, it's a bit unsettling.
What is he, like fucking 26 or something?
Yeah.
Oops. No.
Actually, yes. 26 or 27. So, no, 26. Yeah. He's 9 years older than she even. Yeah. This is weird stuff. You know, she's best getting away. Hope to get to go on that trip soon. To go on a school trip, and we got last episode. They're actually making up their itinerary based on where they want to go eat.
Yeah.
So if you start up here, we can get a great breakfast in, and then we can walk up here, and then we can have and then we can get another a lunch up here, and then some afternoon snacks in this place. Do we want to see any actual sacred sites or any landmarks or anything like that? You're right. If we start here on that morning, we can go hike up the hill, and then we'll get the view off the shrine. I get us nice hunger worked up, and stop for lunch right about here. Yeah, it's a great idea, NG. Let's do that.
Yeah, more like a food crawl than a pub crawl, but yeah, sounds good.
These are good kids. They got their priorities. I can respect that.
Then we've got Tower of God, episode 6, position selection.
Yeah, it's anime high school.
It's very much so. It's suddenly fucking whiplash. It's like, oh, now they're all hanging out at lunch, and they have to go to classes and shit. And I was like, wait, what?
So they've gotten some stage up the tower where now, you're in your little groups now, and you've probably meshed together a bit. Now you're going to be subdivided again, into
your classes,
character
basically.
classes within your group. So someone's going to be the main attacker, which is the fisherman. I guess there's the tank, or the kite, I suppose.
The guy who's in the thick of it, basically.
These are all MMORPG terms, just run to a thesaurus, I would say. Have the light bearer or the lighthouse. They're the ones kind of coordinating your operation, and it's just this fancy name attached to it. And then it's just what's it now? Wave user, who is
wave users, the guys who have some access to the magic thing. You apparently need to have I guess they're like a warlock because they need to form a pact to properly use it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you've got lots of guys. Our little kung fu guy from before counts as scout because it's like the quick guy who goes in there, has a look, and just supports everyone else a little, but not great on their own, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and so do each have to then now take tests and exams and classes, so they can
and their classes are wildly different. So our dinosaur boy I think his job is literally spear guy,
spear bearer. So that's
spear bearer. So it's that's fine. He's got a spear. And his thing is he has to hit a target that's really far away, and he's getting obsessed over it. It's that's really fucking far, and he couldn't take the first shot, so he's gone on a journey. But he's at the end of the journey by the end of the episode, which is grand. I was worried. I was like, oh, they're not taking him out of it. And they're like, no, he's grand.
You got it.
But the scout guys have to make 20 friends.
Yeah.
They have to sign a sheet they're sponsoring him, kind of thing, for a walk.
Going around house to house just for a fun run.
So I guess their abilities their ability to work with other people and work be the middle manager between groups and that kind of thing.
But also gather information because you want to learn about new friends. So it's idea with that.
It's fairly varied tests basically that each subclass has to do.
Yeah. Rachel, who we saw, came in to visit while Bam was unconscious, and just talking to Kun about him and saying, yes, I am that Rachel. Yes, I'm the one he's after. Could you just say that I'm not her, though? Because I came into this tower for my own reasons. And he's coming chasing after me. And we are each other's weakness. If he comes in, I'm going to be worried after him. And he's going to be worried after me as well. So this way, like one, at least both of us can focus on our goals and not be worrying about the others, because that would cause us to trip up.
It's a bit dumb considering his goal is to get back to her.
Yeah.
But
she's a bit, I guess, we looking out for herself here.
yeah, very much so.
Acting like, because she didn't steals all the Mars bars, takes them back to her room.
Has a little bit of a cry binge on him. Yeah, but obviously your man's kind of green is like, yeah, you kind of will get in his way, and it seems to somewhat synchronize to his backstory that we still don't fully know. But it's like, yeah, I can see you being someone else's weakness of the person you care about, which is something that like clearly has happened to him. So he's trying to help out his friend / also help out his teammate, which helps him out in the end. Yeah. So he kind of goes with the story. He's like, no, it turns out she was someone completely different. I guess it's just one of those faces, huh? No, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. It gets very much anime high school because it's a bit of like a testy confrontation in the canteen. A lot of that team, like with Bam and Kun and there's other guys from Hats and Shibisu. Just like hanging out in the canteen, just like paddling around. And Dorsey, she was the lady with the heels from the killer team, is just says, "Oh, well, I might come and join you if you'd have me." Sure. Anak then, she's since kind of gone out on her own as a free agent, at a falling out with the other two lads, and has like this kind of just walking around showing off her cool new the black march she's got that she won.
You can't get it to work for her, but yeah, she has it, so fuck you.
So that's squaring up to endorse you as a fucking fake princess. I'm a fake, but you're like totally a fake as well. And it's kind of like what makes like his Princess of Jihad is like, are you like kind of nominated, or is it come down? I'm not sure it comes down to a family line or anything. I think just like
it seems to be you're nominated based off skill, basically. Yeah, because they talk about the one who had the Black March prior, and apparently she's like one of the youngest people to be appointed to the thing in a Kingfisher role or something. Sorry, fisherman role. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's like you're not really born into the family. You're just appointed based off of quality of you. Is the kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, good for them that they can settle this little dispute in their own exam, where they got to be like doing around. They gotta like knock other people off of the platforms. These big mushroom platforms over an abyss.
I did like the way it was like, hey, is there like a net down there? Will we die if we fall? And your one's like, it's like, no, you won't die.
It's not fatal.
And it's kind of like, hang on, there's a second question here. It's very important, but no time for questions. And yeah, the lady with the heels is kind of like, oh, okay, if I just knock off one or two of the weak guys, I mean, like that'll be the exam pretty much over. Because once 10 guys get knocked off, that's it, exam over. But our other princess has no intention. Yeah.
It's common for her, right? And they're not allowed to use their own weapons there, so just have. I saw it in a few other like competitors coming up top already. Just have these like long red like needle kind of pointy swords.
I think they're just called needles in the thing, in the subs.
It's like some kind of standard issue. If you come into tower with that weapon, will give you this like big pointy needle.
It's a weapon, but it's not like your super powered weapon. So you're just testing your own skill level, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's purely about just like this big pissing match between the two of them, and I'm going, well, like I might be a fake, but I got more than enough fucking skill of my own to take any of you on. We're all fakes. She's probably somebody who's maybe sees this whole system, which seems to be fairly well established, as some kind of a sham, or it's probably done something to keep her people or her country or her family down or something like that. She's just kind of tear the whole thing up.
The background we get for her is that she's not really the Anak, who is a princess of Jalad. Basically, her mother was, I think, and her mother was killed by the other princesses for kind of stepping out of line or something.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure why she was. So basically, she's going to go through the tower, get all the princesses, take their cool shit, and kill them. That's her problem. That's her plan, anyway.
Yes.
And taking her mother's name to do it, basically.
Mm-hmm. But it wasn't always that way, though. Because if you get just
in the flashback,
at the finish there, no, she was just a wee lass. And
a wee little dinosaur girl.
A wee little dinosaur girl, and she was happy for a time at least until tragedy struck.
Yeah, and like her backstory with the mother, she kind of doesn't go consider her a princess. It's like, my mother married the baker who made the nicest tarts, but then they burned in a horrible thing when all the princesses killed him, and I was just like, oh, okay, that was a bit of a whiplash. It was a nice, simple, like, I have a very basic background, but my shit got fucked up, and now I will kill anyone involved.
Yeah.
So there's still like so much to this fucking world where they're just like, we're gonna keep all this obfuscated, and it's interesting, but yeah, there's a lot of complications to it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're going to stay at this kind of stage for very long. I say this because
Sure.
a lot of them have gotten through their exams or whatever pretty quickly. Like when Rack has passed his own, so he's on. I guess this I suppose qualifying your class, and then once everybody is up to speed, then
you can move on to the higher level test. Yeah.
I say like the one next week will probably be like Bam passing his exam, because it'll show that he has this phenomenal ability for controlling the Shinsu water stuff. It's also him like probably it's more self-actualization, where he can be his own person outside this little lost puppy chasing after Rachel, but see what goes on. But there, we got more about it. I just idea that Rachel is just somebody who's like very much getting a lot more sense that she's not on the up and up at all.
Yeah, I mean, like the other background stuff is like we get a lot of side stuff with all the other characters. Like the one horn kid, it's like, oh, he uses the Shinsu water as well, and he's putting on a friendly face, but there's something under the surface there. We get with Rachel, like obviously she's having a nightmare where Bam, when he was younger and had longer hair or whatever, walking away with the rest of the group of NPCs, the group of characters and shit, while kind of leaving her behind. So it's kind of like, yeah, they're all got their own stuff going on. That's kind of interesting as well.
Yeah, it's cool seeing there's entities that are attached to this tower. You get to form
like
a pact
eldritch fucking abominations. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a giant eyeball. You wish to form a pact. And everyone else is just like chatting after they formed a pact, and it, like Bam waking up from it, like cold sweat, kind of like, oh fuck, what the hell?
Yeah, but I get the feeling that whoever made a pact with some like super strong one, he's lucky to be alive. Yeah. The other fella with the horn is just, I made my pact. Oh yeah, don't worry about that. It'll take a lot out of you. I just carry myself very well. As soon as he gets back to his room, boom, collapses. Fuck.
Yeah. So there's other shit going on as well, but yeah, it's interesting so far. Weird, like you said, just the jump from anime school into anime school, I guess.
Yeah, again, it'll linger here on for long. I'll throw something else new into the mix, or just like jump from a whole genre to another again. I mean, that's what I like about it, and then that's like again what gives me that echoes of Hunter x Hunter, because that just hopped around a different part of the story, just as it was. It goes from like we're going to be this sort of crazy revenge gangster thriller in this fictional like New York. Then we're going to be trapped inside a video game. It's not as dumb as it sounds though. And they're going to be like hunting down and destroying and eradicating this menace of insects that can like mutate and combine and become especially stronger rapidly. Just different like just putting these same characters in different situations and seeing how they would apply their particular skills because you can't win everything by fighting it or by thinking about it or winning it. There's something like a variance in just trying to find this perfect all-rounder who can conquer the tower.
Rightio, then we've got Wacky TV Nanana, episode 4, A Slice of Heaven, Blissing Out Inside a Whale. This being where I was jealous of the banana. Because, boy, this spa looks great if you're not the one being slapped around the face with a wet towel.
I just like the way he was bruised later on. That was great.
So yeah, the team they first of all have a sauna where the informant and then the director comes in and starts swinging a towel to distribute the heat. I assume this is
they're explaining whatever
technique
Norwegian technique it is or whatever. Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, I wish I had my mum's steam shower available to me. I could just sit in there for 5 minutes on mid heat. That'd be perfect of a morning. Get all those muscles relaxed.
Yeah.
Then they go and sit in seawater to cool themselves down, get all those minerals back into their body. And And then they go and sit on some massage chairs. And I can't remember their names now, but the one who's in charge, he's the
Mustache
one
banana.
with the
Yes.
mustache, yeah.
He's the one who we then just see how blissed out he can get as we go inside.
He's nearly about to hit Nirvana of being blissed out.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's so blissed out he peels. But then
mustache underneath.
yeah.
somehow.
But then his dream is invaded by an imaginary version of the producer, which prevents him from being able to be blissed out.
It's like, hey, dude, it's fucking episode 4 and you haven't even fucking found the Kraken yet. What the fuck?
Yeah,
You can relax when you're fucking done.
Yeah, this kind of thing, you can't deserve this kind of relaxation after you've done all that hard work, because then it feels so much better when you've know you've earned it and deserve it. So get the fuck out there onto the boat and find me a monster.
I'm banning all saunas until you find that Kraken.
No, I was so close. You're not even real, you're not even here, but nonetheless, I'm discouraged.
Ruined his bliss.
But yeah, for a 4-minute cartoon, it did a very good job at being relaxing and then dragging you out of that relaxation right at the end.
Yeah, I found it weirdly slowly paced because generally this short does not have fucking time to take its time chilling. So any amount of chilling it does show is like, so fucking slow in comparison.
Hashtag chill out.
Yes, or bliss out, as it said in this one.
Bliss
Then we've got listeners, episode 6, Goodbye Blue Sky. The Pink Floyd and, well, mainly Pink Floyd. There's a few references to other things, but
It's prog rock, yeah.
Yes, but some of them are like much later.
Yeah, it's nearly like it's like it's saying prog rock was a thing in the past, but is a thing afterwards, and also like it's a thing separate from regular rock, that kind of way. I think that's what I was trying to get across with it.
Yeah, my issue is this is not the bits of prog rock I'm familiar with are not really represented in this particular episode.
Yeah,
but I will say the good thing. So I wasn't necessarily getting allusions and metaphor about that, but I was surprised how well it worked without knowing the references so much. So I'm like, oh, maybe it is easy to recommend the previous 5 episodes.
It was more about giving us a little more history to what the nature of the eras and what they actually are. So it wasn't necessarily mired in people talking in album and single names to each other.
That's true. Yes. Yes. So they arrive at the land of Nome, and unfortunately, there is only one surviving member of the people of Nome left, Roz, who I assume that name is an allusion to Roger Waters.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. It could be.
The city is hidden inside of an invisible prism. Yep.
Which they found their way by a map, which was the cover of one of Yes's albums.
Yes. Yeah, and I feel like the shore they're on before they find Nome is an allusion to some non-Pink Floyd album cover, but I couldn't.
There's a bunch of fucking album covers, but if it shows you a big vista, it's an album cover.
Yes.
Basically in this, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, and obviously the big one which I was easy to pick up on is when they get there's a signpost which has got a load of references on it.
Yeah.
Which is that's the one where I'm like, I feel like that's deliberately, because it's telling you that you are at this particular King Crimson song. And then it's pointing you in the directions of 2 other bands who come after that King Crimson song.
So like influence from this point. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, because it's a King Crimson song, it's hard to actually find that song on the internet. If you want to listen to it, you either have to go to Dailymotion or buy the goddamn album in a physical form.
That's I guess that's just like the right map. Lead you to the Kingdom of Crimson.
Yeah, and so and then as soon as they get in, Echo falls ill again. And we learn this is sound sickness. And Roz explains that this is what causes people to become the earless. Also, she hates the players. Don't know if she hates the game, but she definitely hates the players.
She's a player hater, all right.
Though she is a player herself, we discover by the end. Because they, well, obviously killed everybody. They all made the earless go berserk when they did their fest, which killed
because
everybody.
when you see the flashback of Gnome, it's like these horrifying black shadow monsters just floating around and frolicking with the children and dancing with the people, and just like, yeah, they were just totally fucking cool and chill. And then once they were betrayed, they were like, oh fuck, humans are going to betray us, right? Let's kill everyone here. So I guess it was a tentative piece, but it was definitely a piece at least.
Yeah, it's just like the earless, they still retain some sentience, some kind of like remnant of the personality of the person that they were before. So she's got one that's falling around that's her own father, and it's like protective of her, and it seems to speak to her, and she can hear what it says anyway.
The only earless in the place are people, or the population that died there. The earless that were there before, basically all flew off. And that was like they had like a festival where they'd release the fucking giant floating
pink balloons.
Yes, and the graves of all the people of the city are beds on a beach. Also, yes, in order to hide the city, she had to build a wall.
Yep.
Build a wall, which is it's more like a glass fucking triangle that
it's a prism.
Refracting light.
It's prism.
Yes. It doesn't so much refract light, but there is a huge beam of light shooting out of it in various rainbows throughout the whole fucking thing.
That
so
will happen.
you're grand.
Yes, the beam of light does get shot out when the place is invaded by what are the names again?
The Dada
sisters.
Sisters.
Yeah. They found their Dada, and then they realise where they are, and so this is the thing which convinces Roz to give them back the amp.
Because basically she said it's like, hey, Echo's got like the listening sickness, so you better give me that little core part because that's going to do it. And she gladly did. He's like, oh fuck, I don't want to hurt Echo, kind of thing. And Echo later on was like, oh, she told you that? That was bullshit.
But he's lying.
Yeah.
But that's fine because he got loads of medicine.
All right, then we're going to do the big punch. Bang.
The Dadists are initially like kind of horrifying because obviously they turn your one's own dad against her since they can control Earless. But as she points out later, it's like, you guys are kind of useless on your own, aren't you? And Team Rockets them away.
Yeah. Like I thought that they would come back and they'd be returning again, but to have them be sort of this recurring antagonist that rushes in and they're pretty, because they're pretty not fully serious because they're always like fighting among themselves. I mean, they get like all punched together at the same time and just land in a heap, and they're all like, "Oh, hello, sister. Oh, hello, sorry, good to see you again, sister.
Hey, how's it going?" Also, their kind of thing was like, you who wear the symbol of our Dadaism on your chest. Where the fuck is the symbol? Where's the fucking symbol?
It ruined their dramatic speech.
Yeah, it was totally fucking cool until it didn't work.
And also when they're about to leave, Roz kind of gives Mew a talking to about like, hey, if you're not going to be in a relationship with Echo, don't be surprised if someone else takes him away from you. Which I assume was like her attraction to Echo to some degree.
Well, also it's generally good advice. Like, don't just assume that it's like, oh yeah, he'll eventually come at you. It's like, no, make the first move if you want to make a move. Like,
otherwise, you might end up as a bitter 26-year-old waitress on a radio station. And then there's kind of like, oh, you remind me of your brother. So it definitely feels like that is the relationship. But we've had two people suggest that now, so a third, and it'll be a truth. And then
you also have the illusions where she's like making the same pose essentially as her brother, and that's again put in the end credits where they're kind of mirrored off each other.
And he was being delivered somewhere, and then someone kidnapped him en route.
He landed from the sky in the land of Nome. It kind of sounds like a prog rock
It
thing straight away.
well, yeah, there is a
And he just showed up and was like, "Wow, these guys are fucking cool. Can I let off one of those pig balloons?" And it's like, "Cool. I'm gonna come with you to this big festival." But he got picked. He was being transported by the army of Londinium.
Didium.
And so they're more likely the culprits who actually kidnapped him.
yes, and that'll be where we take ourselves to next episode for the punk
some mods.
episode.
Well, yeah, mods and
they're
mods.
up against some fucking some Jonathan Rotten and Sidney Vicious.
Yes, and it looks like Nia's back as well next episode.
Well, you kind of got grunge and punk. That's kind of related, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the thing of like having the Einstruben sisters here is, and then mentioning
yeah, the dadaism related to like prog rock kind of imagery and style. Yeah,
but also like the mention of Le Dusseldorf on the sign of being
like it comes from here. Yeah,
yeah, because they're the band. I can never remember. Is it new exclamation point? Is that how it's pronounced? Because I'd heard of them. I never heard of Le Dusseldorf, but yeah, Klaus Dinger from Near.
New. Yeah. My German is.
Yeah, never did German, so my German pronunciation is nowhere. Yeah, so it's their band, which was from 76 to 83. So yeah, they'd be a point between Pink Floyd and the Sisters as the band they represent. Yeah, the other band mentioned is Hatfield and the North, which are another Canterbury scene band, which Pink Floyd were in the Canterbury scene, or whether they just toured with a lot of people from the Canterbury scene. Soft Machine.
Yeah, probably in the same circles for sure.
Yeah. If you go to the Rock Family Trees on Prog, which I remember liking, watching it was on TV in the 90s. All the comments there, they were like, why are you not mentioning Pink Floyd or King Crimson? So they won't really help you on this episode. But if you want to see how Yes fit into everything, then it's a good watch. I wish I'd bought the book, though. I've had it in the Amazon wish list for ages, and it used to be like just under 20 quid. Last time I looked, it was £600.
Oh, gravy.
Oh dear.
A university copy, that's all it is.
Yeah, I feel like I'd probably need to look on second-hand sites now and try and grab it now while I can. Because I was going to rip the format off for an anime panel at some point in the future, but it would be handy to have the book as reference. Talking of which, I see that Amichibi has been postponed to an unknown date in the future.
Yep.
So you may have already had your hotel rooms moved. I don't.
Well, a good thing I didn't book a hotel then.
See, I have, but I haven't had any information about that. And I went through their link, but we shall see. I was going to let it play out. I'll let it play out. Because I don't think I've prepaid. I've just booked it, but I can't cancel it until they put a proper cancellation thing through.
They're probably just slow to do it because, like, yeah, it's awkward to cancel that much. The whole fucking thing, basically.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I'm out of any money. And if it's just postponed, then I'm just postponing spending that money. So.
Yeah.
That would be as bad.
If you check your booking, you might see that your booking might have been moved to a proposed new date prematurely, so you could get some kind of beat and what I could be thinking. Yeah,
that is what I just saw. But
yeah,
we shall see. I'll just grin and bear it for the time being, and meanwhile, watch more anime, such as Wave. Listen to me, episode 6. There's no such thing. God, I love this show. I think this episode, firmly put it into my favourite. I think it was the moment the initial shot of her dad, and that initial shot telling you so much about her and her dad.
I think it was both the conversation, the shots of her and her dad, and then the conversation with her mom. I was just like,
Yes.
oh, that fucking tells me everything I need to know. The dad was like, I understand so much more, but the mom was like, I get where you're coming from now.
Yeah.
I had all the background I needed, basically.
Oh, and the opening scene of like her, we left them with her going to leave the restaurant and never to return. Immediately gets on the phone to find out exactly how much money she's making. And no, she's kind
So
of
like, you're not gonna leave, are you? It's like, hang on a second, I gotta take this call. How much a month do I make? Okay, cool, thanks. No, I'm not gonna leave. What are you talking about?
and yeah, so much of the sound design is so good. Like there'll be like music and it'll just dip at the right moments to like really drive a line home. Oh, and the assistant manager's sister, she's a great character.
I like the way her background is weird and creepy and dark, but she's cool, she's normal. It's like, oh, I want her to succeed now. She's grand. Yeah.
Just laying it all out to your man's sister, who I guess, to Nakahara's sister, or not Nakahara, Chuya's the dude,
Yes.
Who he's staying with. And then
I love that. It's like, yeah, he's taking her home to his apartment, eh? Oh, it's like, yeah, but his sister's staying there with her kid. So it's like, there's no sexy times happening. Don't worry about it.
She's just laying it out. Like, I get my brother, he was really intense and growing up, very protective. I felt for a time I was kind of kept all locked up in a room, a bit like Caspar Hauser, the German, like a young German like noble who was like appeared with his crazy story, been kept isolated in a cell all his life, and the sister going, your brother's not super weird. Yes, you're right. He is super weird.
Yeah, she wasn't like, it's like, no, he's fine. It's like, no, he's fucking crazy. I know he's crazy. This was my way of getting the fuck out from under him.
Yeah, I think just some of that delivery was really getting me this time. I just delivery of some of the other actors, and as well, I think it's like a good translation of the subs where you can like it is like just a real thrust to the gag, and a bit of that wit is really kind of poking through and making it a real tight package altogether.
Yeah.
We get a little glimpse of the woman that Minare reminds Marto of. And we learn that she's died at some point on a tragic journey, and she never got to see Monty Python.
Oh, it sucks, man.
That Monty Python bit was just like the perfect touch, because it's like, of course, that guy when he's younger would be trying to make people watch Monty Python. Because they did that again. That just little bit of thing was like, oh yeah, that's a nice little touch which fills in so much of his background and like his sense of humor and why he wants
his sensibilities and why he wants you to bring up your ones kind of humor. Is like it's not the exact thing, but it's close to it. You're that fucking weird that that might work.
And we got the mystery of the radio that her dad, Minari's dad, sent her.
Yes.
I sent you this high quality radio. She's like, can I fucking plug it?
Texting motto is this like, is this worth a lot of money? I'm in a meeting right now. I'll talk to you later. Damn it.
She ends up with salmon and she's going to give it to...
ends up with too much salmon.
Yes. Goes to give it to the guy who used to save her from falling asleep on the wrong doorstep. And they notice that he looks a bit out of sorts.
He's got bags under his eyes. There's a weird smell coming from his apartment. He's kind of creepy, isn't he? He's a creeper. And she's just kind of like, dude, you're just into fucking drama and shit, which we have established earlier with his own sister. He is. His cool lines are from a fucking drama that he watched.
And he wrote a load of ideas, which he immediately apologising for asking him to write ideas.
Yeah, he's like, I all that conversation was so natural and good. Where he's like, "Come on, guys, keep it down over there. I'm trying to write down ideas for her radio show." And it's like, "Yeah, I can see you're playing games on your phone already." And he's like, "Fuck you, sister." Everyone like the sister-brother relationship is perfect.
Yes.
It's such snappy but natural dialogue.
And Minari's trying to come up with like a nice fluffy idea so that her show won't be just always about the occult and sinister
and weird,
stuff.
creepy shit. So, I mean, like, what's coming in the post? Maybe that'll give me some ideas. Oh, a weird and creepy letter. Fantastic.
It's a fax, so
It's a
it
fax,
Could be,
you're right,
could,
sorry.
Could be from like an older listener because they usually people use back machines. No, he said his age is 29, so okay.
Oh, and it's
damn it.
my old neighbour, who we've just seen, looks really creeped out and has the stench of death coming from his apartment. And then Marto manipulates her into going by sending
That's
Mizuho
such good manipulation.
but it's so obvious that Minari calls him on it.
Yeah, like he's going like fucking too easy, and like she knows he's doing it to her, but she can't help it because it's like, okay, I'll send her as well, and if she gets in trouble, you speak up, Minari, you get involved there, and she's like, I can't let him do that. She's too precious to me, and I know you're doing this to me, but I still have to protect her.
Yes.
Nothing can come between our love.
But yeah, it's establishing
It's
that
sweet if it wasn't a little creepy.
episodes don't have to be live, and we go and record it there. We'll take a video
We get
camera.
some pre-recorded interview footage. That'll be a different kind of format in that it is an interview, and we'll edit it into something workable later. Yeah.
So they turn up on his doorstep, put on their cosplay.
On the doorstep, it seems, but yeah, it works out.
Just with that whole spiel about it and why they're putting on this costume and why they're the first person to do it. It just for some reason reminded me of fucking Kiniku Man when he comes in his stage entrance and he has this really convoluted joke based on whatever location they're wrestling in, and it's just really fucking.
Yeah, I mean, like your one pointed
bizarre
out, the
thing to
entire costumes were a setup for a really fucking dumb joke. So yeah, that's definitely kind of the thing she was going for. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got all these wards and charms plastered all over the room, and he says it's about to happen, and then the ceiling starts bleeding, and so she makes a phone
And he's
call.
just screaming in the background. It's like, oh God, it's happening. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And the moment she reached for the phone call, I was like, oh, great, next week we're going to discover that somehow this is her fault. And then I was like,
oh, it's definitely her
oh,
fault because she lived above him.
yeah, did
She
someone
lived in the
store
apartment above him.
all the frozen stew in the house above? And it's...
And it's been plugged out since or something. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Also...
it's a foul-smelling liquid. So I thought first is the fun septic tank gone and this guy is just.
No, but your man said it smelled like rotting meat or something, and I was like, it's probably just literally rotting meat. I mean, like that's gross as heck, but it's like, yeah, it's not a haunting. The timing is the thing. I'm trying like, why does it?
I wonder if like
it's
in a freezer maybe which keeps on going off periodically.
Oh, like yeah, the electricity's off for that time or something like that because no one's living in the apartment.
I just feel it has to be her fault, and I hope.
Oh, it's definitely her fault. It's absolutely her fault.
And I hope it has something to do with the stew from the festival.
It'd be a nice callback. It's really funny that she's ruining this guy's life, and she didn't even fucking live near him
and he
anymore.
can't remember her name or who she is either, even though he saved her multiple times.
I mean, like, the most interaction he's had with her up to this point is her calling the cops on him for living in his apartment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
so good.
Just what it goes at the freeze frame, and then she's just in dramatic condition. As soon as I made that phone call, I had no idea my life was about to change forever. It's just something fucking stupid. We know the way this rhythm goes now.
I'd like, and just to get back to the start of it, the way the dad was kind of like drunk, had blown all his money on gambling, and was trying to be nice and giving good advice and sending her gifts of a radio and too much fish. And the man was just like, your dad's a piece of shit. You get yourself a real man kind of thing. Like, and I was just like, that is basically her whole character fucking rolled up. She was raised by these assholes, so no wonder she fucking turned out this way. Good stuff.
Yeah. It's like the immediately of Chuya, like hearing the dad and like, I guess it's just like you. It's like
they were both the mama and dad were good talkers as well.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah. And no sign of this abating, but also it's not on the list of things which are definitely finished. So we just have to hang on. And finally, Gallon Dino, episode 6, Let's Rent Something, and Mikan are so yummy. Well, they are until you watch this episode, go to bite, get your own out the cupboard and discover they've rotted a day early.
Oh, no.
I know.
I don't know what it is with like citrus fruits. They're going to turn in like a matter of seconds. You look away and then this is cover over all the way through. Like, how did it cover over all the way through in a matter of hours? I just
Well, that happened
thought
that happened me with the milk recently. That happened me with I got those apples that look like they're fucking been under radiation. They're so goddamn green. And a few of those rotted on me. I wonder if like the whole fucking situation in the planet is causing people to be less good at storing food somewhere down the line.
Yes,
because
that could be.
I do find things are going off quicker. It's not even gotten that much hotter lately.
Yeah,
so.
or they're overbuying and not getting it through.
That's it as well,
When they
yeah.
think they were.
Yeah, I should know more about this, but this was a topic that particularly bored me when I did food science at
I mean, like,
university.
even if you studied it, like, it's not something you didn't study it during a pandemic.
No,
Like, this
but you
would be
control
how it
you
goes, but
can
yeah.
you basically control ripeness by controlling like ethylene levels in the air is a good way, which works for all fruit except for banana. It works in bananas in the opposite direction. So if you keep
Yeah.
bananas in plastic bags, they'll ripen.
They'll feed off the other fruit and rot themselves quicker.
Yeah.
Quick question,
Yeah.
actually, since you'll fucking know. Is it apples with potatoes to keep them from sprouting, or is it potatoes with apples to keep them from going up? It's one or the other.
That's not really how they do it in the industry.
In my cupboard is all I need to do.
Well, we didn't cover your people's
I'll look it up
cupboards
later.
on the my decree.
Yeah.
I did
like a
work. I
game
did,
of-
did used to work for a potato company, and I'm pretty sure we didn't keep apples in them to keep them longer.
I mean, like, they're missing a trick there in that case.
But yes, you can manipulate potatoes, particularly a long time in storage.
Yeah. There could be something to that because if you're making guacamole, so you gotta keep the stone of the avocado in the guacamole you make, so it doesn't go.
It
doesn't
still
go bad
thinks it's
immediately.
alive. Then yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way of it.
Anyway, first part of Gallon Dino before we get
Yes.
to the oranges. Let's rent something. They go to a DVD rental shop.
How nostalgic!
Well, I guess they still have
Going
them in
outside.
Japan
Wow,
'cause
I remember that.
people
kind of a
haven't
thing
got
in
the
Japan.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's nice though. Like, I miss being able to pick something off the shelf. I mean that like as a sincere thing. I'm not just being shitty or anything. I'm just like, oh, it was great. Kind of like going like, oh fuck, what do I feel in the mood for? And not just endlessly scrolling through fucking Netflix or something.
Yeah. I heard something that to get a video rental license for a shop in Japan, you need to need to be renting a certain number of different like genres of material. So let's say if you're opening just like a porn video shop, you still need to have a certain percentage of your library be different kind of entertainment. So I heard about like a guy would go down, and his nearest video shop was his porn shop. He was able to go in there and like just rent like action films and like box sets of different seasons of Friends because they have to have something like that in there.
Yeah, they have to have like a full stock of things, even if they want to be like a specialist one. Okay, cool.
I know.
Yeah. The first Dino wants to rent an entire TV series, every single volume.
Of buddy cops or
Yes.
partner cops. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
man, so
that
much
series
action.
is so good. Yeah.
And then he wanders into the over 18 section, where he appears to be overly fascinated.
These titles sound delightful. What a
Sounds
good
fun.
time that sounds like.
Sure, that goes to the beach a lot.
And then Kaide comes in, so you don't want to watch that stuff, do you? And then sees that her ex-boyfriend's there looking at gal-themed porn and say to himself, this one looks just like her.
Oh boy.
How far are you falling? I did like the way like the background guys were as uncomfortable with her
Yes.
popping into the over 18 section.
He had two. They did some really good reactions of him in this episode and the other one.
Yeah.
Because he like doesn't realize it's her talking to him at first, and then he's like very casual, and then turns and notices.
Wait a minute, the situation that I'm in, this is not okay. Oh shit!
Everyone's okay with the dinosaur being in there.
Yes.
though,
Well,
so-
it's a naked dinosaur. There's nothing sexual about it.
And they end up renting. So Kade rents a dinosaur action movie.
Jurassic Park.
Yes. And,
Jurassic Parkour.
And Dino rents a horror film about a girl who gets out of a well.
Just one of that genre. They have a whole fucking section. Yeah.
Yes. And kind
That joke was really good at the end. I gotta say. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, the joke. Yeah, so they watch the dinosaur one first, and Dino's scared. It's too scary for him, and Kaido's like,
Because they're all like, "Oh, get out of there! Don't." His vision is based on movement. Get in the car. It won't start. You know, you just hear what's happening. You know.
and Kaido's like, what are you scared for? That's you, isn't it?
That's like
one
you.
of
That's
you.
one of you guys.
Yes.
And he's like, no, that one's scary.
And so then they watch The Ring, and Kaide's absolutely frightened, and Dino isn't. And then his gestures indicate that
Like
he's...
what? It's just one of you.
That's a human. What's so scary about it? It's a human coming out of a well. Ooh.
Yes.
I would
Fucking good stuff.
I would like to see more of Jurassic Parkour though. I want to see Sam Neill do some speed jumps off the walls.
That was a
Pretty
really
nice.
like it definitely was a caricature of Sam Neill and those little things. Actually, we got that in the dinosaur looking at all the porn titles in the Jurassic Park one, and in the other bit we get like some cool background drawings. Oh, of the Partners series of TV
Partners.
shows.
One's flying their body. You're gonna like poke it with a pencil. Ooh, we're gonna chase some guys in a car. It's awesome.
I don't know who's doing those like animation paintings for them, but they're really good, and I'm quite enjoying them. Yeah.
Then we get a short where he's trying to have a late night snack without waking Kaide up. And I guess also he's planning on watching a DVD, maybe. Or maybe not. I do like the touch of the DVD player just doing the bouncing DVD.
Idle animation. Yeah.
Yeah, did you have a DVD player like that?
Oh, had one. Definitely had one. Did we have one at some point in school? No, maybe it was college actually. Yeah, then
I think we had one in college because it was like we generally use like a PlayStation or whatever the fuck console we had plugged into, but the DVD player was great because it was one of those region-free ones, and I was like, yeah, that's the good shit.
Exactly. Yeah, I one of those as well. Yeah, and just like get it for like 20 quid in Tesco.
Yeah, you get it for nothing, and it
it's
fall
Toshiba's
apart. But
then,
it was grand.
yes,
Like,
that's exactly what I was. That's the one I had to replace my £200 Morty Region one. And then by the time it broke down, you could get one for, yeah, as you say, 20 quid at Tesco's.
yeah, you wouldn't feel so bad. It's just
technique.
annoying in the moment.
Yes. Yeah, then we've got Mikan are so yummy. So yeah, it's Kaide, her ex, and Dino. They're eating.
Well, he shows up with a bunch of Mikan, and she kind of like, I was like, I'm not fucking answering the door, but the dinosaur's cute face, she
Yes.
can't say no to it.
And,
So has to invite him in, and they have a fucking revelation while eating that. And that
Yes,
was a
'cause-
funny ass revelation.
it's his mum had got them for her, and then she's like,
Why is she always getting me things? She's so sweet. Like, I keep needing to get her things. It's like, hang on a fucking sec.
yeah. You also see the mum, and you're like, oh, I bet Kaide reminds the mum of herself. That's why she.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she was a gal. You can see by her. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I give this to Kylie. She's so lovely. Oh, she's great altogether.
Yeah, I'm grand with that thing of the man being reminded. It's like, oh, she's like me, or she's like the person I would want to be friends with when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it's like with your man, it's like, dude, you're into like your
Yeah.
man.
That's what really.
It was cute from the man and Kaide. It was not cute from the other guy. Ugh.
And then they scare Dino by making Mikan
By
float.
doing a child's trick on
Levitate.
him, basically. Yeah,
Ooh.
that was so good.
So
And
they
then-
show him how, and he's always he's going to show out that nice woman next door to
Yeah,
feed
the
the
landlady.
cats.
Yeah,
Is she the landlady? Oh,
she is
right.
the landlady. Yes.
Oh, and of course, that makes sense because the characters who appear in the live action bit will also.
Yeah,
Uh,
she's a main character.
I'll play that role here, of course.
Yes, and she is amazed, but not by his magic trick, but by the fact that he can eat them, and the kittens can't.
My cats can, and it's fucking mortifying. But you can. That's wonderful.
Good boy. Good boy.
And
Hugely
then
disappointed.
the short is
TY for the Mikan.
that's it.
Oh, TY for the Mikan, yo. And it's the dinosaur continuing to practice the magic trick in the mirror while your man pulls another childish trick, and I'm a bit more complicated this time though.
Yeah, with a bit of wire string and makes one appear to float in midair. I did spot where he was in the spotting one, but that was only because the stream paused and gave me time to spot where he was.
I got it this time, but I didn't pause it.
I did get it this time because I was expecting the one dinosaur would stay still, but he was actually moving as well. So, yeah. They are tough though. I'm enjoying the spot the fucking dinosaur quiz. God damn, this show is a nice treat, isn't it?
It's
Yeah, it's the music that fucking like that really makes it panic though. It's just
Bum, bum,
5
bum,
seconds.
bum, 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 bum. Yeah.
Just mute your telly when you're watching, and then it's much easier to get.
Hmm.
and
I find it
I
cool.
believe that music comes back in the live action as they do a quiz and also what appears to be infomercials for various Toby toys.
I mean, like this was a good fucking ad for that stuffed dinosaur. That thing looked great.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, they play like the buzzer game first.
Yeah, the wire buzz
buzzer,
game. It's
yeah.
got a standard fucking name, but I can't goddamn think of it.
Yeah, I used to love. I think like one of our either the maths teacher or the physics teacher had got one that he built himself that we wheeled out every. God, what was it called? It's the thing I've mentioned on various podcasts before. When the bit of my school life, which I can relate to all these anime when they have like their cultural festival, because we had that.
Oh, like when everyone has the, yeah. You don't have classes. You have all this fun.
It wasn't.
fun time to
It
do
wasn't
shit,
the prize day. I don't think it was like. I think it was Founders Day. That was it. It was the day to celebrate the founding of the school.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's a founders of England. It's like, who's the founders of England?
No, yeah.
Okay, a little more recent history. Gotcha.
Yes.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think he'd wheel that out every one of those days. Yeah, it was massive, much bigger than this toy one they've got here. And then the Dino does a quiz for Kaide.
But in the wire one, he does demonstrate that his giant hands are going to be a disservice, as she points out, but he can shrink.
That's true.
Seemingly.
Yes.
Hitherto
So it was
unrevealed
massive
power.
to him.
Or can he shrink? Because the ending
Yeah, that's
suggests
the
that he
thing.
can't, and that there are two dinos.
That's even more confusing than you being able to shrink, dude.
And then there's like some other shorts mixed in here as well, where the hands aren't. I'm like, that blew my mind. We'll get to those in a bit. We'll do the quiz first. So the quiz is like,
Yeah, we'll do the quizzes.
how do you write dinosaur in English?
That was pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, he's got the O and X right and wrong thing. And I was like, is that a toy? If that's a toy and it makes those noises, I want it because I want to use it in a panel.
Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. If that isn't a fucking product, that's got to be a thing.
It must be
someone's
something
put
like
out.
that, yeah. What is the importance of April the 17th? Is it
It's,
National Good Girls Day?
No, it's National Dinosaur Day in
It is.
Japan.
And then make a joke based on the title Gallon Dino. Kind of is like, what does she say? Bird and Dino. And he's not impressed. And then she's like, that's not even a question.
Yeah, it's like the riddle with Gollum. It's like, hang on, that's not the same fucking thing. Make a joke. That's a different set of skills.
Then,
I went with Garo and Dino, so you get Garo from One Punch Man, or you can get any of the Garos from Tokusatsu shows. And what if they lives in an apartment together? That would be hilarious.
I was trying to make some sort of pun with Galentine, like get Valentine or something like that. Galendina. I couldn't do it.
and then
Within again, that music just made me panic, I think.
because witting Kaide this time, he shrunk and floated away on balloons.
You can also summon a tiny remote control tank.
Yes, he does that on the next one he loses. But then we get origami with Dino. And this is the thing which I was like,
Yeah.
these aren't the hands of the costume. So I was like, are these
Yes.
different sets of hands? Or is this really good CG?
Is that a product?
Oh, no.
Oh, I was thinking it might be CG.
I just
yeah.
thought it was just like really big gloves. And they're fucking
yeah.
around because it's just the lack of dexterity, maybe you think, and that's what makes it hilarious. Again, they're like the fucking look around you level experiments. That he's trying to
like, the joke is he can't do origami because his hands are too fucking big with this small square of paper.
Yeah.
He also can't balance the coins, and he's like
That was really
trying
funny as well. Yeah.
He's trying to balance some more because he's like knocking more over than he does it. You can see him, you can sense the hands getting really pissed off with this.
It's very good
What is
hand acting
that?
through dinosaur gloves if it is gloves, but if it is CG as well, it's fucking meticulous.
Yes, that's the thing, because they're not they're not the hands that the full-size costume has, but what they do
No.
resemble are the hands of the tiny Dino.
Yeah, like if those were scanned and modeled or something
Yes.
like that. But the other thing I was thinking is like we were saying the last day when the dinosaur was making the barbecue, is like maybe they just do have a set of gloves for up close camera shots.
Yeah, I checked
kind
that
of
though.
thing.
You don't see the hand on that one. He dips his head just to the edge of the camera, and then the hat gets put on by an unseen hand.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Then
that
it's
seems like they do have gloves, all right. Yeah.
Piggy Badminton Challenge is our next section, which I guess is another.
That looks like a
toy.
fun game, but if you give
Yes.
it to a kid for a birthday, like to a niece or nephew, the parents are gonna fucking hate you.
Well, you could get non-squeaking little air blowers.
No,
for-
the
for-
squeaking is necessary.
Yeah.
It lets like an audience know like how intense a game is actually
Yeah.
going and
Exactly.
what kind of rally we got going on. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, the reason I think this is Toby because they used to have on the Toby YouTube channel like demonstrations of these sorts of toys, which were often quite fun, even not knowing the language. And this was what these reminded me of. But there was no person in a dinosaur costume in those.
Missed out.
But he loses 3 none and he gets mad and then drives away in his little tank.
Very passive aggressive. We're going to turn around and face a turret towards it, and then storm out.
I thought he was gonna like fire like a little missile or something, but no.
And then he pops up from behind the sofa, like when they used to have Luna on
Sailor
the
Moon
live-action
one.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Hey, it's me, the cat, not the cuddly toy. Yeah.
But they have a puppet of that cat, but sometimes they just wouldn't bother using the puppet, and it'd just be the cuddly toy. And then we
It's
see
just quicker.
from
Always
across
push
the
the brand.
other side of the room, Dino's watching this. So like, what?
More questions than if, yeah. Like he
How
can
many
shrink, fine.
dinos
I can
are?
accept that. Wait, he can summon a tiny clone of himself, like Superman that one time. Many questions.
Yeah. Is Dino Superman? You come to our planet.
At least there wasn't any fucking existential crisis ahead. I was again the fact that it was half live action. I was like, oh no, something bad's gonna happen the whole time. It was like nothing bad happened. I was like, oh thank God.
Yeah.
It was a relief.
Lot of fun. Highly enjoyed it. Liked everything I watched this week. It was all
Yeah.
great stuff.
Lots of good ideas in there for stuff you can do, little games you can play with your family and whoever else you're taking shelter with. Huh?
I'm not taking shelter
guess
with
that's true
anyone.
as well.
What am I going? How am I going to? I'm going to get 2 pigs and bounce bounce the thing between myself.
Well, you can always balance coins. You know, you could like fill some of your kitchen gloves full of like cotton balls, and then see if you can still get them to stack properly. You know.
Or I can take it to a park and do it from 2 meters away with a stranger, but not a member of my family.
Yeah. In which
Perfect.
case, you just play real badminton then.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes, they are going to. I mean, allow you. Well, at least in the limited time. By the time this podcast's out, they may have changed the rules again. No doubt.
Well, once they see a spike in fucking infections like every other country that's decided to try and let things out early, they might reconsider things. But by then, the damage is done, and you could have just not done that.
And
Plus,
it'll
this isn't a
it'll
food
lengthen
podcast.
the time for the rest of us. Hooray!
Good and bad.
So yeah, this year's kind of a wash for being outside, basically.
I swear it would be better controlled if the virus itself was in charge in the UK.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised.
But yeah, it's a weird. Well, is it a weird situation? Probably not. But yeah, I'm more frightened of the measures my own government puts in to control the virus than the virus itself.
Yeah.
The virus will react as obviously it will. It's not going to pull anything weird if you follow the rules, like of the horror movie. You'd be fine. And
Look, the
you
virus
wouldn't be
is a
hurt.
Terminator. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't get scared. It doesn't feel pity or remorse. It doesn't feel any sense of obligation to your social or political or economic calendar. It's Terminator. You gotta run away from it. Stay away from it.
Is that why you got to stay alert?
God, that fucking stupid.
Anybody
like-
you know could be a virus. Your next door neighbor, your closest family family members could all be viruses.
He's clearly wanting that to be like the what was that fucking bit of World War propaganda they rediscovered?
The stupid poster that everybody's done a stupid version of. Keep calm
Yeah,
and carry on.
keep calm and carry on. He totally wants it to be as
He
punchy
does,
and catchy as that,
but
but it's not.
no.
And also, they've not gotten a graphic designer to design that. And fucking,
It's awful.
oh, it's so bad. Green and yellow. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It's just so many making fun things. Oh, this is World War II, Blitz Spirit. This isn't the fucking Third Reich. This is a fucking microorganism that doesn't can't just bomb an innocent mission. It's
No, and
idiot.
it's double annoying because I'm old enough to know when there was a Conservative Party who did manage to get the message out on a virus incredibly effectively. And you're right. It's just dithering and looking too far back when you should look back to the 80s and the AIDS information of don't die of ignorance. And that message got out very well at the time.
And even in the parts of the world where it didn't get out and it was suppressed, and like you can see the results of not doing it fucking right, not
exactly.
fucking paying attention.
Yeah.
Or denying people that and letting them fucking die in droves in the background. Like, hey, let's not do that in recent fucking history. It's like, yeah, you've all the fucking lessons right there, and you're not fucking learning from it. Frustrating.
This is what your government, what year upon years of your governments have wrought upon us. You just been take, and now something comes down and they'll take from everybody, yourselves included, and you've just fucked it up for everybody because it's always about the fucking short-term game, always about the fucking get-rich-quick scheme.
Profit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I have a cartoon / live action show to calm me down from this stuff.
It is.
For now.
For now. We don't know where the show's going. So I think we've got one more episode of Gal and Dino before, I think they said
For sure,
5 weeks.
Yeah.
At least. At least they said they're going to repeat the next 5 episodes, but that might just mean that that's repeating to fill in the rest of the time slots that it's got booked. And then it might be replaced with something else, and we may have to wait until there's another gap in the schedule for the rest of it.
Like, I imagine they could probably keep putting out the shorts and stuff, like you were saying now, but like I kind of like seeing them bunched together, and it's so nice to see like lots of different individual animators and everything get credited for all the stuff in the main show rather than in dribs and drabs.
I was being kind of flippant on that. You got this segment it out into short little bits, but they got a time slot they got to fill, so you need to put out the whole thing at once.
Well, they've announced Volume 1 of the Blu-ray in Japan, which has got a cover of Dino staring at the logo for Blu-ray as if shocked that he's on a Blu-ray.
I mean, like, he's perpetually shocked by everything. That's kind of his general expression.
Is that meant to be?
He did have the different expression in this one when he went into the porno section, which was kind of like as close to beady-eyed as he can get.
Yes, his eyes were slowly narrowing as we...
Like, what is this?
As the show was very careful to show us many, many covers and the titles thereof. But
nothing entirely lewd, but
suggestive
heavily
enough,
lewd
yes.
implicated.
Yeah.
It worked well. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any more information on. I know there's like loads of merchandise you can get for it now.
Well, we've seen it.
They've been advertising it in the live
display of
action
it.
part of the show. They got keyrings, they got toys, they got. I'm not sure if that pig thing is going to be branded with it. We'll see.
No, I think that's an
tank.
existing thing.
Cool.
But
If you made squeaky dinosaurs, you like it does itself. Like
Gallon Dino brand squeaky pig toys. There wasn't even a pig in this cartoon / live action program, but here you go. Get the Gallon Dino model tank.
I mean, like that tank was just like a knockoff fucking regular ass tank, but this time it has a stuffed dinosaur on top.
Comes with Deathbringer missiles to bring extinction to all of your enemies.
Rightio. What day next week are we going to be streaming, Niall?
What? I need to remember what I am in work tomorrow and that on days, which means I'll be on nights that time. So if we do it Wednesday, which is a date, if a calendar would ever work on
That'll
this,
be the 20th of May.
20th of May.
7:30 or 8:30 start.
7:30.
Okay, I'll leave it exactly where it is in the calendar. So, yes, dear listener, we'll be streaming again at Let's Go JoJo Show on YouTube. anything coming up or has come up on Secret of the Sailor Madness that you want to talk about?
Well, we done and talked about it, poured our hearts out in a calm therapist setting about Dr. Katz, professional therapist, which was out Brian. That's all up on there on secretsailormadness.com. And we're looking forward now, currently, to a little get-together, talk about Clerks the Animated Series, which I have seen the film, and I have never seen this cartoon, which I have been told up and down by people who I think I have a trust is actually quite good. And it's probably something more of something good has come out of association with Kevin Smith, but that's because he had not as much involvement in this. Hence why it is said it'll probably a little bit better. So we'll see how I get on with that.
And coming up on Dynamite in the Brain is the same thing I said was coming up last time, because Gary's hard drives collapsed an hour before we were supposed to record. So it will be, once again, the anime that didn't make us. Where we'll be talking about Anmitsu Hime, which are correct. There was only one episode ever been fan-subbed, which is a shame, because it's great. Spoiler alert for the podcast. And we'll have Anthony's pick, which is Goldran, the brave of whatever it is in that particular series.
Maybe the son, but that's just brave.
No,
of
Dagwan's
Gold,
son, isn't it?
Is that the guy who's the lighter, or
No,
that's called Light Time.
that's Gold.
Oh,
Light Time.
sorry. Yeah.
Goldran is an assorted golden vehicles. He's a car in the first episode. He's just Dran in the first episode. That is also great. Spoiler alert. And Gary picked Transformers, Super God, Master Force. So see 3 of those things. You may have noticed I didn't say that one was great. It's interesting.
It was better.
It's interesting. It's definitely not without its discussion points, so we'll have plenty to talk about then, and may get into why specifically Secret of the Sailor, not Secret of the Sailor, that's your show. Words, get the ones. What's my show called? The Anime That Didn't Make Us. That's what it is. Exactly why we go from 8 to 11 and not any older than that. But we shall see. Righty-ho. Otherwise, we'll be back here next week, as we said, at 7:30 Wednesday, May the 20th. See you there. Now, how do I end this video? Right. I've come out of the control panel, and I don't know how to stop the video.
Take a break and use on computer.
Well, I guess I could just stop it streaming here, and that will
It's a
end it.
podcast end. Break last. Good. Ooh.
Yes, that's probably something along